Hey, welcome back to the Doggone Positive Way. We're going to talk about hurricane preparedness and what you need to do for yourself, your family, and your pets. So we're going to get right into it. All right, so hurricane season starts in a few days. June 1st, it goes all the way to the end of November, and it can go beyond that, and it can start even a little bit earlier than that. We are at the mercy of Mother Nature, who is pretty much pissed off right now. You've seen the weather reports, and if you haven't, you can check it out. But like a lot of stuff is going down in the middle of the country right now, Tennessee, Kentucky, Oklahoma, and it's just lots of tornadoes, lots of storms, flooding, a lot of things are happening without like an official start of hurricane season or any of that stuff. So let's get into it right now. The things I'm going to be talking about here are going to go for both humans and for dogs in this first section. So, and everything, I can't stress to you enough that you should have at least 2 weeks supply of everything I'm going to list now, okay? So we want dry dog food or canned dog food. If they're used to canned, get that. And you want to have non-perishable food for yourself. So peanut butter and jelly, Spam, any kind of maybe canned beans or something like that. Now they also make things like rice in a bag. So you've got a lot of options these days. MREs, meals ready to eat. You can go online and get that in a preparedness kit. You can spend as little or as much money as you want on those MREs. Some of them are like super expensive, but some of them are very affordable. Water, you need at least 1 gallon per person per day. And I'm going to venture out to say that you should probably have about that much for your dog, especially if you have a larger dog. Some dogs drink more than others. It just depends on the dog. Also, if they're on medications, they might drink more. Like Bella drinks a lot more because she's on prednisone, and that makes her drink more, which also makes her pee more. So you've got to look at all these things. Now, your medications for yourself, please have at least 2 weeks supply. Count everything out. And I know in our state you are allowed to fill your prescriptions earlier, uh, before a storm. So that's really cool. You have to check in your state where you live in what their guidelines are for, if a storm is coming and you have to evacuate, can you get your meds or your dog's meds filled earlier? We get our dog's meds filled at Publix. So, look into that with whatever pharmacy you use, whether it's your vet or, something online like Chewy or, one of your local pharmacies. For your dog, make sure they have an ID for their tags. Tags fall off. Make sure you have something like a stitched collar, and really a microchip is great because they could lose the collar or the tags, but if you have them chipped, they'll get scanned, hopefully. If they get found by like a shelter or rescue group, they have a scanner and you can be reunited. With all that being said, make sure all your stuff is up to date as far as your phone number is concerned and your address. And I always like to have 2 phone numbers on mine and my partner's, or if it can be yours and a family member. Maybe somebody that doesn't live with you is also advisable. So look into that. Now, the other thing that I want you to think about for yourself is to make sure your stuff is updated address wise. Like if you have a license or a state ID, make sure your license is up to date. Make sure your insurance papers, you have insurance papers with you. With your license and your address being correct, if they're starting to let people back into their neighborhoods, if you don't have a proper address on your license or state ID, they're probably not going to let you back in because you could be a looter. So think about that, okay? I also definitely recommend that you get a rabies vaccine. Make sure that your dog is up to date on their rabies vaccination. We get the 3-year rabies vaccination for our pets. But if they're young, you get one when they're 6 months, and after the first year, you can start doing. Um, I think after they're 2, you can start doing the 3-year rabies vaccine. Check with your vet and your state, whatever they allow. Please go by that. And that's also going to help ensure that you get into a shelter. Not all shelters, evacuation shelters, will allow pets, and they certainly won't allow your pet if you don't at least have a rabies vaccination. Okay. Make sure you have bowls, water and food bowl for your pets. And for yourself, have some cups, have some plates, maybe some utensils, maybe like a spoon or something like that. And for your pets, make sure you have crates for them, your dogs, your cats, your birds, everybody, your little tiny, like your chinchillas. Like I had chinchillas, they had a crate for travel. I had a bird, he had a crate for travel. My guinea pig, he had a crate for travel. If you have snakes, if you have reptiles, make sure they have crates that are, they're not going to get out of those little holes if they're like a snake or something like that. Whatever travel containers, um, get those for those types of animals. I like to put all of this stuff in like a few Rubbermaid containers because they're all plastic and the lids can lock down and they're pretty well protected from water and that type of thing and keeping things fresh. You also, if you have had a hurricane hit, you need to go in and check all your food, make sure things are not expired, make sure things are working, make sure you've got your batteries this year. In June, down here, we've got tax-free hurricane preparedness days. I can't remember how many days or if it's a weekend. I honestly can't remember. Look it up in your state. Make sure you have a crate for your pet. Like I said, make sure they're crate trained. I know I already said that about the crate, but I like to have plastic crates. They're more sturdy and more like secure and cozy. Your chances are your pet is not going to be in the same room as you if you're in a shelter type situation, evacuation shelter. They might be in a different room, and you need to prepare your pet to be able to be alone and handle that while they're away from you. Some animals have a hard time. We've got separation anxiety pets. Okay, get medication for that. If your dog has a separation anxiety problem and anxiety, make sure you have medication for that well before you have to ever evacuate. Okay. Um, Batteries, you want batteries, get a radio, a crank radio. If your battery dies, you've got a crank radio and you can hand crank it and get some power. Whistle, get a whistle, like a coach's whistle, so that if you're injured, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and something fell on you, or you're in your house and the roof fell in, whatever, make sure you have a whistle because maybe they're not going to be able to hear you or get to you if you don't have a way of letting people know that you're there. Lanterns are good. Have a small toolkit. Have a flashlight. In your toolkit, you should have a Phillips screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, a hammer, and some pliers, a wrench, okay? These types of things. Maybe even a small saw. Um, get a first aid kit that has bandages, rubbing alcohol, peroxide, Bactine, gauze, all that stuff, tape. And you can, if you can pick up some whatchamacallit, some duct tape, go for it. Pick up some duct tape. Don't tape your windows. That's all BS. It's not going to do anything. Just don't tape your windows. Okay. I like to have some gloves for working after the storm. If I need to pick some stuff up in the yard, that type of thing, you can do that as long as the power lines aren't down. If your power lines are down, stay the heck away from them. Call your electric company. Get a tarp if you need to cover something on the roof, maybe leaking. Um, Clothing, hats, like some light clothing, because if you can't do laundry or anything like that and you're evacuating, you're going to want to change into something that is clean. I can guarantee you that. If you have a baby, make sure you have baby diapers, formula. If they're still, eating, drinking a bottle, um, jarred baby food is great. You can get some of that. Wipes, diapers we talked about. Make sure you have cash because ATMs are like done. Make sure you filled up your gas in your tank because, again, you lose power. Gas pumps are not going to work. If you have a generator, make sure your generator is working, you have the correct oil for it, and you have the correct gas mixture for it. Testing these things out before it happens. Don't procrastinate. You will regret it. I can promise you that. Okay. Um, Make sure you have a small bottle of bleach. Okay. You can mix a little bit of bleach and just get everything cleaned, mix it with water. You can clean the surface. There's also a formula, and I don't know what it is. Look it up to purify your water. Okay. Um, Closed-toed shoes are so important. We don't really think about that. I'm barefoot all the time, but I would put on some closed-toe shoes if I had to go out and evacuate. Wipes, like the sanitary wipes, like Clorox wipes for cleanup. Again, those are wonderful to have. Sterilization. Also, just basic sanitation wipes for your hands. That's great. Hand sanitizer, and we can kind of maybe got away from that a little bit from COVID, but bring that back out. It's really great to have. I really would say to also have toiletries, like when you go away and you go to the store and you get the little mini stuff for travel, get some of that stuff per person. Maybe some mouthwash, shampoo, toothbrush, toothpaste, for each person. I think it's a great thing to have. Go into the bathroom if you're in the shelter, and you have your stuff to stay, fresh and clean. Get a fire extinguisher. It's always good to have. We have them here anyway because you should have them. And get some games, some card games or word search or crosswords. Get some drawing paper, especially if you have little ones. Get some crayons, coloring books. Bring your journal. I hope you guys have journals. If you don't, get a journal. Do your gratitude journal. And also your chargers, because sometimes you can just sit in your car and charge up your phone. So that is also something to have. Now, for me, I like to have a mask, not for like necessarily dust or pollution or whatever, but if I'm going to be staying with a whole bunch of people that I don't know in a shared environment, I want to have a mask because I have MS. So my immune system is compromised. So I need to protect myself. If you have cancer, if you have fibromyalgia, if you have like any of the diseases that are rampant that we have now in our society, you need to protect yourself. So don't feel bad or feel weird if you wear a mask, okay? Just don't. Like, you're sick, you have an illness, okay? I would also say bring your medical insurance cards as well as your insurance for your house or renter's insurance, or if you have even if you have insurance. If you don't, if you own a home and you don't have homeowners insurance, get a renter's insurance for your property, for total loss of like your items and that type of thing. I think that's important. Make sure you have your license, your birth certificate. I have a file that just has, boom, all of my important papers, things that I can't replace, social security card, birth certificate, all that kind of junk in there, medical, just a basic medical stuff. If you need to, I don't think you have to bring all your paperwork, but maybe get a medical alert bracelet for yourself if you have something that you really need, something like that, something happens, people need to know that you have something or you're on a particular medication. I think chronic illness and immunocompromised people should also, if you're live by yourself especially, or if you need help, even if you don't live by yourself, maybe I would recommend getting a hold of your local emergency management department, your city, call your city, the fire department, and see what services are available to you. If in fact there is a hurricane coming and you cannot evacuate and you have to evacuate, make sure you have that plan set in place. If you have a chronic illness and you just need help, it's okay to ask for help. It's cool, okay? Also, think about things like I have a manual chair, it's lightweight, it's cool, it's great, but I also have a battery operated charger to fill my tires and those types of things. I've got my Allen keys if I need to do service on my chair. But if I had a power chair, oh my God, I better have my cord for my power chair. Do I have an extra battery? If your battery dies, nobody's going to be pushing you in your power chair. Those things are heavy. So prepare for that. And the best way to prepare for that is to have that backup for being able to get evacuated with help, to go into a shelter for, where you have, hopefully they have, generators and you can plug in and you can charge your chair. Because like I said, otherwise you're not going anywhere. And I just think you should set up a plan that is something that's doable, that's not crazy stressful, because the whole thing of the hurricane seasons and these storms that are happening right now are very scary, very stressful. But if you can prepare, if you can do as much as you can beforehand, go out and get your paper towels, get your medications filled, get extra dog food, get extra canned food. I'm not saying be a prepper and go crazy. I'm saying just be prepared, okay? And what I like to do is I have one, two, three Rubbermaid containers for my hurricane kit. I also do have a portable stove, like a little Coleman portable stove, and I have small things of propane so I can cook food. Like, I don't know, let's say we lose power and we've got a bunch of food in the fridge. We don't have to evacuate, but we lost power. What are we going to do with all the food in the freezer? Maybe I'm cooking up a bunch of hamburgers for the neighborhood. I don't know. But I can tell you that I do like the ability to have like a little propane stove so that I can take care of myself and my family, and my neighbors if need be. You never know. But you know what's really important is future proof your puppy, because if you future proof your puppy, you're going to have such an easier time. I've evacuated several times with multitude of dogs, different breeds, everything, and I've never had a problem with them because I always train them. They were all crate trained. It didn't matter if I left the room. They were cool. They didn't bark. Everything was fine. Check out the locations in your area, hotels and motels that accept pets. You don't have to drive to another state. Hopefully, if you have a storm, try and stay, within like maybe an hour or 30 minutes of your place so that, you're not getting stuck on the road somewhere. It's really hard to tell. I know it's an individual decision, but I just really want you and your pets to be safe. And there is so much information out there for you. Please, please, please get prepared now. Do it now, do it now, do it now. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you listening to my show. Follow me, like, subscribe, download my stuff. Listen to me on Apple and Spotify podcast. I'm on there. I'm on both of those platforms. And I really, really appreciate all your support. Thanks again. Bye.